Hello everyone, welcome back to this another informative grammar lesson. Today we are going to be doing all about the preposition by, and I am sure that at the end of this video you will understand how to use this preposition by in a correct manner. Alright, let's get started, but before we begin, let's do a quick review of what preposition is. As I said earlier in the previous video, preposition is nothing but it is a connecting word, alright, as it connects a noun or a pronoun in a sentence. And its main function would be it gives information about time, place, and direction, right? Let's now talk about the preposition by, and the first concept that goes with by would be by followed by a place. So by can be used instead of the word beside. So then what is meant by beside? That means very close to or next to or at the side of, or even it can mean it as near. So have a look at this picture over here. So here is the cat, and next to the cat there is a flower vase, right? So the cat is by the flower vase. That means the cat is very close to the flower vase. And the next example, we live by the pond. So here by means we live beside the pond or we live close to the pond, right? So one more example would be, right now I have a mobile phone in my hand, and next to the mobile phone there is a pen. I could say the mobile phone is by the pen. That means the mobile phone is very close to the pen. So that's how you could use this preposition by, right? Well, have you got it? What do you understand here? By means beside. So that's the first structure that you should keep it in mind. So by means beside or very close to. So the next usage of by would be, it is used to describe travel. Let me explain. When someone asks you, how would you go to school? For this, you could say, I go to school by bus or I go to school by train. Alright. Look at the next example. Alex would like to go there by plane. So possibly there is a man, Alex, who wants to visit Japan, but he doesn't want to go there by train. He would like to go there by plane. So in a similar manner, you could also use any of these phrases like by scooter, by bike, by bus, by taxi, by boat, by car, and things like that, right? So remember, the second concept that goes with by would be, it can be used to describe travel, all right? So what is the first concept that goes with by? So by means beside. That's the first concept that we have just learned right now. And what is the second concept goes with by? And by describes travel, all right? Let's move forward, and here we have method of communication. Of course, by can also be used as a method of communication. Look at the first example sentence over here. James informed the news to her by telephone, right? So now imagine that probably James has been appointed in a multinational company and he wishes to convey this message to his wife. So how would he inform this message? By mail or by fax or by telephone? Yes, he informed his wife by telephone. So by can also be used as a method of communication. So look at the second example sentence. I will send the report by mail. So probably your boss asked you like, how will you send the report? For this, you might say, I will send the report by mail. Here we have some other phrases that you can use the preposition by as a method of communication. Alright, what are they? So they are by phone, by email, by post, by fax. You can use any one of these phrases accordingly. Alright. So next up we have by with reflexive pronoun, right? The fourth concept that goes with by would be, by can also be used with reflexive pronouns. Well, what does that mean? By with reflexive pronoun? So this structure means to do something alone. Let me explain with examples. Look at the first example over here. I solved the puzzles by myself. Here you could notice the preposition by with the reflexive pronoun myself. That means, without seeking others' help, I could solve puzzles by myself. I solved them to be alone, with nobody else. So, what are other reflexive pronouns? Let's learn later. But just look at the screen. Here is the next example sentence. They go abroad by themselves. That means they can go there alone with nobody else. So that's the fourth usage of by that you should remember always, right? Let's have a look at some reflexive pronouns that we have on the screen. What are they? By myself, by yourself, by himself, by herself, by itself, by ourselves, by yourselves, by themselves. So these are some reflexive pronouns that you can use with the preposition by. So remember the fourth concept, by followed by reflexive pronouns. All right. Next up, we have method of payment. All right. Yes, by can also be used to describe methods of payment. So look at the first example sentence again. Harry paid the bill by credit card. Well, how did Harry pay the bill? By credit card. All right. So one more example sentence would be, they have paid for the laptop by check. So possibly there is this guys, Sarah and Mark have bought a brand new laptop. Do you wish to know how they paid for it? They have paid for the laptop by check. But the thing that you should keep it in mind is that the same sentence you can say it in another way by replacing check, and that would be, they have paid in cash for the laptop. Yes, notice the word in cash. For check and credit card, you could use by. But on the other hand, when you tend to use cash, you wouldn't use the word by. When it comes to cash, you can use the word in. I paid in cash for the machines, or I paid cash for the machines. Either you can add in or remove the preposition in here, right? So don't get confused, all right? So coming to the point, the fifth concept that goes with by would be when describing methods of payment, especially by credit card and by check, you could use the preposition by. All right, that's the fifth concept that you should keep it in mind. So don't get confused. The next one that we have time expression. Of course, by can also be used to talk about time expression, specifically to describe deadlines. So what does that mean? I mean, what is meant by deadline? So a deadline is the time before which something must be done. Have a look at these examples over here. Look at the first example that we have. Pay the rent by Friday. So again, let's think of a scenario. Possibly you are not able to pay the money on time as you are running short of money. At some point, your house owner makes the deadline and he would be like, pay the rent by Friday. That means Friday is the deadline for the rent. You must pay before Friday or on Friday. You are not allowed to pay after Friday. So, by can also be used to fix deadlines. So, that's the next concept that you should remember. The next example would be submit the project by 4 pm. That means you have to submit the project on or before 4 pm. Alright, so 4 o'clock is the deadline that has been fixed to you by your boss, possibly. Let's move forward, and here we have next concept that goes with by, and that would be by with ing forms. So ing is nothing but gerund form. Alright, so by can also be used with gerund form. This means this structure basically explains how to do something. For example, look at the first example. Sheila improved her skills by practicing constantly. All right. You will be healthier by walking regularly. So, how will you be healthy? By walking. All right. So, that's how you would use the word by with gerund form as well. This means how to do something. Next up, we have passive forms. Yes. Then the last concept that goes with by would be by can also be used with passive voice. First, look at the active voice here. I am teaching you grammar. Alright, the passive voice would be grammar is being taught by me. Here, by indicates who is doing the action. Again, here we have another example. You are listening preposition. So the passive voice would be preposition is being listened by you. So remember the concept by with passive voice. Here, passive voice is nothing but by indicates who is doing the action. So that's the last concept that you should keep it in mind as well. So that's it for today's lesson. Let's do a quick review of what we have learned as of now. What is the rule number 1? By means beside. For example, I live by the temple. And what is the rule number 2? By can also be used to describe travel, like I go to France by train. That's the rule number 2. What is the third concept that goes with by? That means method of communication. For example, I sent him a text by phone. And what is the fourth concept that goes with by? By followed by reflexive pronouns, right? For example, he prepared the project by himself. And what is the fifth concept? Method of payment. For example, I paid for the tab by credit card. And what is the sixth concept that goes with by? To describe deadlines. Say, for instance, you must vacate the room by Monday. And what is the seventh concept that goes with by? By with gerund forms. You can listen this video by clicking. Alright. So what is the last concept that goes with by? By can also be used with passive forms. Say for example, this video is being watched by you. Alright, I hope you understood. So that's it for today's lesson. Hope you find this lesson really useful. I'll be back with another informative lesson. Until then, you keep on practicing. Alright. Thank you.